6,500, 5 pounds. This is they're going to call it a 25 foot, but it's probably 27, 28 foot tip to tail Wildwood rear combination living entertainment couples camper here at Haywood RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And this is actually, interestingly, this layout is sort of the predecessor to things like the 25 foot rear entertainment living combination Eagles, Cougars, Winnebagos, open ranges that you see in the marketplace today. You got your sofa and seating slide over here. When you have the slide closed like we do currently, you can, if you do a little bit of that sideways travel trailer shuffle, probably squeeze your way through there to get to the bedroom. The bathroom door is probably not going to want to open with the slide in that position, however. This one, it's not in flawless condition, but it's, 14 years old. It's done a pretty good job of holding up overall. I don't think that it's in terrible shape for the year, but when I see a couple little glitches as we go, I'll point them out. Meanwhile, let's open the slide. Now, it's kind of funny how trends come and go, even in the RV business. Because there was a time where a layout like this was very popular. It gave you lots of big windows, tons of light, and it gave you that super slide space. And then it kind of fell out of favor. And if you really think about it, in today's market, if you move the entry door in front of the kitchen, well, then that's basically what in today's market we call a 25.5 Eagle HT, a 27 REOK Winnebago, or a 25 RES Cougar, with Cougar really being the one that has revived this layout and made it very strong again in the market. Of course, not a surprise, Cougar has been top of their class at what they do for 14 straight years. Anyway, so we've got our little jackknife, simple sleeper sofa back here, and I can't locate anything inside here that scares me. Like, we will look at the outside. I've located a couple places on the exterior where it looks like maybe the fiberglass skin has delaminated a little bit, but it appears to be towing stress delamination and not water leak penetration delamination. So what that tells me is that this RV has been well maintained, which makes sense when I look around this nice, cleanly kept interior, and the fact that the exterior generally shines and looks pretty good, that this RV was well kept, but it was used a lot. It did its job a lot. It was pulled around a lot. Now, one thing I did notice is the mini blind right here. And at first I'm like, oh great, I found something broken. And I looked at it, and I played with it. The blind works fine. Mechanically, it works fine. And I looked up here where it would mount. There's nothing wrong with these little mount clips. So evidently, it didn't break, someone removed it. But they didn't throw away the parts. Everything still looks good and everything still functions. And I have seen things like that done on some of these old RVs with classic mini blinds, where they will just simply take them out, because if, you move around the camper, certain blinds in certain areas, they're inclined to just go like tink, 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 and just be really annoying. Maybe that's what this was. I'm not sure. The fact is it's there. It'd take 5 seconds to put it back up in place, and it'd be perfectly functional. No sweat. Now you've got a pretty nice expansive counter space here, and this is going to double as your entertainment center. Now, as compared to a lot of RVs built during this era with really small boxy TV centers, you could put yourself a big old pedestal mounted flat screen right there if you wanted to, and really angle it in toward the slide out. Or if you're looking for more simple camping, because you're probably looking at this RV largely for budget reasons, given its age and whatnot, it'd take care of you. The kitchen's simple, but it does what it needs to do. It's got enough. And really, that's kind of who Wildwood is and always has been, is they know when to do enough without trying to pretend they're someone else. That's always kind of who they've been. Now over here, instead of a booth sort of table, we've got a freestanding table and chairs, and they've always, I'm the one that went through and opened all the shades with the exception of the rear shade on this, so they must have always usually had the shades down, because there's no discoloration from the sun in here. So they, even when they were camping, I'm going to guess they mostly had the shades drawn, because none of this is faded. And that's something that I've learned to look for in older RVs as well. Now, classic RV feature, we've got full overhead storage throughout the slide here. And above us, we've got a residential style ceiling fan to keep that airflow moving around. Now, this is a classic small fifth wheel. In today's market, this would be what I'd call truly half-ton towable. It's lightweight with a manageable hitch weight, that a lot of half tons are going to be able to take care of. So right here, this is going to be the bulk of our bedroom storage. We've got our 4 dresser drawers here with this extra large cabinet beside it. And then something that I like on these classic fifth wheels is you have a lower deck bathroom. And I like that because I'm tall. And I can stand in this shower all day long, no issues. And something else I noticed is that very recently, somebody must have just recently installed that Max Air vent fan. And I say that because it is super clean. Like, that is so clean it must have just come out of the box kind of clean. And the tires on the outside look pretty similar too. So someone must have bought this and they recently put a couple bucks into it. And then basically they went, you know what? Why don't we just swap out of this thing? They got some good deals going at Hitch. We'll get rid of the old Wildwood and we'll get into something newer so we don't have to keep putting money into it. There you go. You know, simple, what I'd call like traditional gooseneck bunk style bedroom. Once you're on the main deck upstairs, there's no additional step up. You have more dresser space and a side stand here with a power outlet, and then an additional hanging closet over here. So you've got 2 dedicated closets, you've got 6 dedicated dresser drawers, just kind of spread out in a couple different areas of this one. And again, on the outside, it's kind of apparent this was very well kept. It was just used a great deal. And that's where having a lot of experience of looking at used RVs comes into play, guys. What I can tell you is that this side of the RV was parked away from the sun. And they did regular cleaning on this. And you can see that over here, the decals and everything look good. But you're going to find a couple spots where there's a little bit of stress delamination. Like right here in the gooseneck area, in this high stress transitional area, the gooseneck part of this RV is always kind of wobbling a little bit. All fifth wheels do it to a degree. Well, it has caused a little bit of a bubble in the skin there, but it's not soft. So it's still fully structural. It has just wiggled over time. And again, like when you see something like that, we often forget that even though this would be new to you, this is not a new RV. It's important to look at this RV through the lens of time. You know, when this thing was brand new, anything that I've described that is not positive wouldn't have been the case. But over the period of, 15 years or whatever, almost here, 13 years, this RV's been used quite a bit. Well, if you had a 13-year-old car, like if somebody had an 04 car with 280,000 miles, you wouldn't expect it to look pretty and perfect either. That's kind of what we're looking at here. So you need to look at it with, even though it's new to you, it's still not new. And that's hard for some folks to understand sometimes. Now, the nose and the sidewall decals have experienced a little bit of fade, but guys, overall, they're here. It's not bad. And what that tells me is that this RV had to have been regularly cleaned with a UV inhibitor. Otherwise, those decals on, I've seen other used Wildwoods and plenty of other used RVs made during this time period. RVs built during this period were notorious for having peeling, flaking decals. So the fact that this one has only minor fade of the decals really says someone who was on top of cleaning this. We'll get up close and look at the tires just before we climb up on the roof, but those tires are just about as brand new as that Max Air fan that we saw. Now, the first thing that I saw when I walked out to this RV, because the light was hitting it just right, is I saw a little wave in the fiberglass back there. And the first thing I did is I went inside and I pounded all over the walls and the floor and inside the cabinets, and I wanted to see if it leaked. And it hadn't. Just like that area around the gooseneck, this is stress delamination right here because all the structure below it is still there and solid. Now, whenever you see something like that, that's a scary prospect. And that's part of the reason I put these videos together. If my interest was in misleading you, I would never even dream of tipping you off on something like that. That wouldn't make sense. What we're trying to do here, guys, is conduct ourselves with integrity and transparency. I don't actually even expect you to take my word for it. What I want you to do is visit us here at Hitch RV, review this RV in person, touch it yourself, and form your own opinions. I'm giving you ideas. So, form your own opinions there. But at least we're going out of our way to properly educate you on something like this. And if you look at this and you're still not comfortable, if you're like, I don't care, even for the right money, it's still, that scares me too much. We respect that and we understand it. That's why we talk about it. So you can buy with confidence from Haylett RV and know that if we sell you something used, if we see something, we say something so that you have an idea what's going on. Now back here, we've got a 2-inch receiver hitch added to this, and it looks like that was reinforced for towing purposes. So it does look like this would be really good, like if you wanted to put like a small little fishing boat behind it and turn it into something like a rolling hunting shack, you know, hunting, fishing kind of thing. And oh yeah, the tires. Said we'd take a look at the tires, and like I said, these things right here, these look just about brand new. They had to have replaced these very, very recently. And overall up top here, it looks all right. It's definitely been maintained over the years. Like, if it wasn't, this would definitely be like a lot, say, like black, spotty, moldy, whatever. So it's had regular cleaning maintenance. It has definitely seen a couple full peel and reseals on the seals. Although I noticed almost immediately when I popped up, the seal bead right here around that bathroom fan, it must have just cracked. And the way that I can determine that is if you look really close, you can actually see where it has stressed the seal right here. So just from transit stress down the road, it stretched and breathed just enough that it just kind of cracked this right here. Now what we're doing, because you know, it hasn't been leaking in here, by the way, you can tell because this is all bone dry. This may have happened on the way here to Haylett RV. This is incredibly recent. You can tell again by the discoloration from the stretching of the sealant. So we're going to get one of the guys out here real quick. We're going to put a quick bead on that to get that buttoned up, because obviously that would be a concerning factor otherwise. But the good news is, whether it was by skill or luck or whatever, we caught it before it was a problem. So it does still fall within the realm of preventative and not repair style maintenance, thankfully. Other than that, it doesn't look bad up here. It really doesn't look terrible. So give us a call. Hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, and everything in between. We do it all at Haylett RV, even after hours. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.